In 1986, five brothers founded their own video game publishing company in Paris. They were an ambitious bunch who wanted their software to be truly ubiquitous, and so they named their company Ubisoft. As the company grew and published more and more games, they realized that they needed to start making their own titles that they could then distribute. So starting in the early 90s, they internally created different development studios throughout Europe. But they knew that North America was the largest gaming market in the world, and that if they wanted to be competitive there as a publisher, they would need a local developer. Thus, the French company founded a studio in French-speaking Montreal. Originally, it only worked on small projects and children's titles. But in 2000, they began work on their first adult game, a stealth action game that would bring the world of high-tech espionage into gamers' homes and prove that it took a Canadian studio to make an American super spy. The game was endorsed by Tom Clancy, who had lent his name to a number of gaming franchises published by Ubisoft. Clancy himself did not have too much input on the game, but he did have one complaint: the tri-lensed goggles that the studio featured in concept art, which would combine night vision and thermal imaging, were not technologically feasible. However, the studio insisted that having both vision types in one headset would make for faster gameplay and would also give the series a visual trademark. Clancy relented, and the goggles stayed. While there had been stealth games before, notably Thief and Metal Gear Solid, this game would revolve around a Black Ops spy, a one-man Splinter cell of the National Security Agency.
And do us proud. Welcome to the NSA.
This Splinter cell, Sam Fisher, would have access to all sorts of real-world weaponry and gadgets to help him infiltrate his targets. And infiltrate was the key word. Clancy insisted that games branded with his name conformed to a high degree of realism, which meant that Fisher wouldn't be able to walk into a room, eat bullets, and slaughter his foes. Rather, one shot could kill him, and so to complete the objective, he would have to pass the guards undetected. To enhance the stealth aspect of the game and to emphasize his nifty goggles, Ubisoft Montreal spent more time on the game's lighting mechanics than on any other game in history. All lighting would be dynamic, which meant that every light source in the game could be switched on or off. Manipulating the light sources to give himself a cloak became a core gameplay mechanic. As such, where most games favored vibrant visuals, this title revolved around darkness. The guards themselves would be a step up from the mindless gunners of most action games. They would constantly patrol the hallways, and if they found anything out of place, like say, a dead body, they'd sound an alarm. If enough alarms were triggered, the player would lose the game. To counter this, the game let players move the bodies. If they could hide them well enough, the guards would never find them. But the guards weren't just victims to be eliminated. Fisher would start most missions without enough information to complete the objective. To obtain it, he would have to capture and interrogate guards without giving himself away to the others. As such, the game always kept players on their toes, in some ways playing more like a puzzle than an action game. In any given level, he'd have to figure out how to manipulate the lighting, acquire information, and use his limited ammo to sneak in and out without triggering the alarm. It all added up to one of the best stealth games ever made, and on its release in 2002 was praised for its groundbreaking graphics and absorbing gameplay, and was cited as one of the best reasons to own an Xbox. It was faulted for its weak story, about a Georgian president launching a massive cyber attack on the United States. But the script did have one standout element: Sam Fisher himself. The grizzled, seasoned veteran instantly became a gaming icon, helped in no small part by the voice of character actor Michael Ironside.
You ready to get to work? I'd feel better if I knew what was going on. You know what you need to. Are we working with the CIA's cooperation? Blaustein is outfitted with subdermals just like yours. That'll be your best lead to find him. You didn't answer my question.
With fancy gadgets, a host of lethal and non-lethal weapons, dizzying acrobatics, and a tough-as-nails super spy hero, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell became a smash hit that holiday season and put Ubisoft Montreal on the map as a top-level developer. They got straight to work on a sequel to surpass the original. But Ubisoft headquarters back in France knew they had a hit franchise and wanted another one sooner than Montreal could deliver. And so, Sam Fisher would be leaving snowy Canada for the sunny Pacific. Tune in next time to see how the series was shanghaied to Ubisoft Shanghai.